So, you want to buy a skyscraper, a name on the skyline, block-swallowing tower of steel and glass, and a lobby big enough to land a helicopter you also own. Here's the sentence that should stop you cold. The world's most famous office tower makes more money selling tickets to look at New York than it makes renting the offices inside it. Not a little more, a lot more. The Empire State Building is 2.8 million square feet of leasable office, and yet it's 2 observation decks, a sliver of floor space at the very top, pulled in $128.3 million in a single year from 2.3 million visitors, at a net operating margin of around 73%. That one attraction is roughly a quarter of the entire real estate trust's net operating income. So you thought you were buying a landlord's business. In the trophy tier, you're actually buying a tourist attraction with an office building bolted underneath it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how that's possible. What does a skyscraper actually sell? Why is the biggest cost the one that never shows up in the brochure? And why is the person who owns the building so often the only one at the table who doesn't get paid? Let's open the books, starting with the price of entry. Use a side-by-side rate comparison because the range here is genuinely absurd. Same asset class, 4 orders of magnitude. Rung 1, the fire sale carcass. A 23-story Midtown Manhattan tower at 135 West 50th Street sold at online auction for $8.5 million. That same building last traded for $332 million back in 2006. It was 35% occupied, and someone clicked buy for the price of a nice apartment. Not a fluke either. The 30-story Ameriprise Financial Center in Minneapolis went for $6.25 million, about 97% off. A Denver office complex that traded at $176 million sold for $5.3 million after foreclosure. Rung 2, the stabilized regional Class A tower, well leased, in a secondary downtown. That runs you into the low to mid hundreds of millions. Chicago's magnificent Mile Towers anchor this rung, and at the very top of it, Cambridge's 100 Binney Street traded for a clean $1 billion, one of the biggest office sales of its year. Rung 3, the Manhattan Trophy, the GM building at 767 Fifth Avenue, sold for $1.4 billion. Google bought 111 8th Avenue for $1.8 billion. SL Green grabbed 245 Park Avenue for $1.77 billion. Rung 4, don't buy, build. To put up a brand new, super tall, high-rise construction runs $400 to $1,500 per square foot. And in New York, the all-in average lands around $534 per square foot. One Vanderbilt cost $3.3 billion for 1.7 million square feet. Central Park Tower came in around $3 billion. One World Trade Center came in around $3.8 billion, the most expensive office tower ever built. And Rung 5, the record trophy purchase. The center in Hong Kong sold for about $5.15 billion. That's the ceiling. Just like your car collection, the badge decides the zeros. You've bought it, now it bleeds. Let's build a cost stack bar chart, line by line, because owning a skyscraper is a monthly subscription with a lot of hidden add-ons. Start with the boring expected stuff. Total operating expenses, before taxes, run roughly $8 to $13 per rentable square foot per year. New York City tops the entire nation at $12.95 per square foot. That covers cleaning, security, repairs, and admin. Energy, the line everyone assumes is the monster, is actually tame, around $2.12 to $2.14 per square foot on average. Elevators, though, those you feel. A Class A high-rise pays $12,000 to $20,000 a month for elevator maintenance, 24/7 coverage, monthly service, and code inspections, up to about $240,000 a year just to keep the boxes moving. Insurance is priced on what it would cost to rebuild, not on square footage. Figure 40 cents to $1.20 per $100 of insured value. On a $50 million tower, that's $30,000 to $75,000 a year. If the building is pre-war or high risk, the rate climbs to $1.50 to $3 per $100 of value, and the bill climbs right with it. Then the parasites on revenue. Your property manager skims 2 to 4% of gross revenue off the top, in good years and bad, plus another 3 to 5% of the tenant improvement budget just to supervise the build-out. And every time a lease turns over, you pay again, a leasing commission around 6% of the lease value, split roughly 4% to the tenant's broker and 2% to yours. Plus a tenant improvement allowance of $10 to $100 per square foot to fit out the space. That last one can equal a full year of rent, sometimes 25 to 150% of it, handed back before the tenant pays you $1. But here's the beat. Everyone braces for energy or staff to be the biggest line. It isn't, it's property taxes. And let me show you with a stat call-out that should make you wince. Trophy New York towers pay north of $20 per square foot in property tax alone. The GM Building's owner paid $83 million in property taxes in a single year. Read that again, not $83 million in operating costs. $83 million to the city before a single elevator, guard, or light bulb. In New York, the tax bill often exceeds every other operating cost combined. And here's the cruelty of it. You can renegotiate your energy contract, you can fire your cleaning crew, you cannot cut your property taxes, because they scale with the building's assessed value, which the city decides. And when a buyer prices all of this, they take the building's net operating income, divide it by the price, and call it a cap rate. Stabilized Class A downtown towers trade around 6 to 8%. The tightest trophy assets, just 4 to 5.25%. Which means you pay more for less yield and pray the rent holds. Then, sitting on top of all of it, the debt. Office loans run all in at roughly 6.5 to 8.5%, a durable spread of about 250 to 400 basis points over the 10-year treasury. And lenders demand your income cover that payment, 1.3 to 1.45 times over. Miss it and the building stops being yours. Which, as you'll see, is exactly how those $8.5 million auctions happen. Now the fun part. How does this thing actually make money? Let's build a money flow waterfall, and let's lead with the engine nobody expects. Engine 1, the observation deck, the hidden margin center. If your building has an iconic view, this is the whole game. The Empire State Building's decks did $128.3 million in revenue at that 73% margin. Tickets running $79 for an adult, $90 and up at sunset, plus a $1,000 VIP proposal package for the truly rich and romantic. One Vanderbilt Summit deck brought in $133.2 million. Chicago's Skydeck did over $52 million. This tiny fraction of the floor plan out-earns and out-margins the entire office stack. To see how lopsided that is, the whole real estate trust behind the Empire State Building booked $768.3 million in revenue and $401.8 million in net operating income across nearly 8 million square feet of office, and yet just $73 million of that reached the bottom line. Back in 2012, the observation decks alone were about 40% of the entire building's revenue. Engine 2, office rent, the volume base with the thin margin. Manhattan Class A asks around $82.72 per square foot, and trophy space in the Plaza District or Hudson Yards commands $115 to $130 and up. The Financial District, meanwhile, scrapes by at $56 to $64. Engine 3, the retail podium. Ground floor flagship frontage rents at a big multiple of the office rate. Engine 4, and this one is nearly pure profit, rooftop antennas. Cell carriers pay $1,000 to $3,000 a month per carrier to bolt gear to your roof, over $5,000 in dense urban cores. Stacked across several carriers, on 5 to 10-year leases with 3% annual bumps, for almost no added cost to you. Engine 5, naming rights and signage. The building top and lobby names sold to anchor tenants and brands who pay to bolt their logo onto your skyline. And Engine 6, in residential supertalls like the roughly $3 billion Central Park Tower, you don't lease at all, you sell the ultra-luxury condos off the top. So who actually gets rich here? Here's the twist, and it's the whole reason skyscrapers are more dangerous than they look. In the office tier, the owner is frequently the one layer that eats the loss while everyone around them gets paid. Watch the value chain with a margin donut and watch how little reaches the equity slice. First, the ground lease landowner, the quiet winner. In around 100 Manhattan towers, you don't even own the dirt. A family or estate owns the land under your building and leases it to you for 50 to 99 years, collecting escalating rent with zero operating risk. That's why land lease buildings trade 20 to 35% below market. Second, the lender collects 6.5 to 8.5%. Senior to you, and if you stumble, takes the building and dumps it at auction. That's who's selling those carcasses. Third, the leasing brokers take about 6% of every lease signed, whether or not that lease ever makes you money. Fourth, the property manager skims 2 to 4% off the top, no matter what. 4 separate parties collect their cut before you, the owner, see a single dollar. And this isn't rare anymore. In a single year, investors bought 204 distressed office buildings, up from 133. Some $5.2 billion of fire sale deals, while national office vacancy hit a record 19.6%, and around $950 billion of commercial mortgages slammed into a refinancing wall. There's frequently no dollar left. Remember 135 West 50th Street? The equity lost 97.5%, from $332 million down to $8.5 million, while the landowner, the lender, and the brokers all got paid the whole way down. So, worth it? Let's settle it. If you buy a commodity office tower right now, imagining prestige is a price floor, you are buying one of the most brutally cyclical assets on earth. Wrapped in a tax bill you can't cut, sitting on debt that can repossess your trophy, while 4 other people skim the cream. Buildings have lost 97.5% of their value in under 2 decades. That's not a store of value. That's a slow-motion demolition with a marble lobby. But, and this is the real lesson, there is exactly one owner tier that reliably prints money, and it isn't the landlord. It's the operator who owns a must-see view, a monopoly on a skyline that 2.3 million tourists will happily pay $79 to photograph, at a 73% margin. Rain or shine, lease or no lease. So if you're going to buy a skyscraper, don't buy it for the offices. Buy the one with the deck at the top. You're not a landlord. You're running the best located gift shop on the planet. If watching a billionaire lose 97.5% was your kind of fun, hit like and subscribe. We open the books on a new impossible asset every week.